Are you having a long layover in Qatar International Airport and you're wondering what you're going to do with all that time? Are you having 6 hours, 12 hours and more and you do not know what to do? This video is for you. Do not fret, there's quite a lot that you can do. And in this video, I'll be going through step by step some of the things that you can do, whether you're traveling alone, whether you're traveling with family, whether you're traveling with kids. There's something that you can definitely do at the airport to ensure that the time goes by pretty quickly before you catch your next flight. So sit back and listen in. My name is Anna, Migrant Doctor Mom, and if you're a returning subscriber, I want to thank you so much. And if you're new and you're watching me for the very first time, consider subscribing for more content. So I have gone through Qatar Airport before, and the last time I traveled, I was alone and I really did not know what to do. I spent a lot of time. I had 13 hours layover, and I spent a lot of time just sitting in the, in various places at the airport to pass time. But this time round, as I traveled, I purposed that I was going to take a long layover in Qatar just to explore the airport. And I did a bit of research just to know what are some of the things I can actually do in Qatar Airport to pass time. Qatar is quite a beautiful airport. It is very easy to navigate. I find it very easy to navigate from one point to another. It's really well labeled. It is full of, lots of people that are Swahili speakers as well. And so do not fret if you're traveling and, you're a Swahili speaker, non-English speaker, you'll get somebody to help you. All right. So one of the biggest things that I found on this current travel is they have developed the orchard, and the orchard is quite, I think, one of the newer area where it serves as what we call the central concourse. So it's essentially quite a beautiful area that has lots of trees. It has a glass roof over it, and the most interesting bit that I found about it is the trees actually are, more than 300 to 25,000 plants in there, various types, and some of the plants are quite tall. And adjacent to the place, there is a waterfall that's quite, with the water running in the background, quite serene. It does have some areas that you can walk and just, freshen up and enjoy what looks like nature inside an airport. So that was quite something, just walking through the various alleys, coming down, and then inside that area there are also secluded sections there that you can sit and either use your computer or just sit down and have a little, nap on the grass, and some areas that are quite nicely built as well. So I found it quite interesting. There are benched areas that you can sit as well, and imagine walking through with the noises from the background, with the waterfall on the other side, and you're walking through. You lie down to have a little nap there as well, and just sit and relax and enjoy yourself. I found that to be quite exciting, and the beauty of it all is it's quite well lit, because above it is just a glass roof, and the glass roof actually allows in quite a lot of light. So if you're somebody that loves photos, that's a good place to take your photos. That's a good place to relax, and that's a good place just to, if you're traveling with your loved ones, to let them run around and just really enjoy yourself. So that's definitely a must visit if you have a long layover, and it is, you don't need any money to access that area. You don't need any money to access, the rest points in that place as well. So dive in, look around, just don't sit in one place, just, experience that the orchard. It's pretty good. The other thing that I found in the airport that was exciting is the pieces of art in the airport. Qatar Airport, Hamad International Airport, as they call it, is has various pieces of art that I did find that has quite a rich background to it. Like, for example, you will find those, the huge wooden sculpture, the small lie, which is essentially done by one of the one of I think it's a Q, what do you call it? A Q piece that is done, and essentially it's one large sculpture. And if you look at it, it's like he's bending down, looking sad, and essentially it was inspired by the person that made it, and essentially his relationship with wood. And story has it that looking at it so magnificent and big, yet looking so small, it gives you, the traveler looking up at it, you see its majesty, but at the same time you actually feel, you have that emotional connection with it. It's quite a nice one that I like looking at, and most of the young, the kids, especially, my son loved looking up to it, and nice one as well to take some photos. The other one that I found interesting was the yellow teddy under the lamp. It sits in, I think, in the area next to the security, next to, I think the sea gates, I think around gate C3 thereabouts. And you will see it in its splendor. You will definitely see it, and you cannot pass through the airport and not see the teddy, the yellow teddy. So it's essentially, sitting high and magnificent, and over it there's a little light that illuminates it, and in front of it, they've written Qatar, writings there. And it's also a nice place that you can take photos and just, acknowledge, the art behind it. My understanding is those sculptures are quite expensive. And and I will just put in how much they cost each. The other thing that is a must visit is, especially if you are with kids, is the playground area that has various, various play things that the kids can play with, the slides, and it is quite a beautiful place that your kids can potentially spend quite a significant amount of time, an hour or two, very easily without getting bored. And in that way you engage them, and they're not tagging at you, they're just playing and having fun. There are other sculptures that are outside of the check-in area, and even with that, there's quite a lot that you can look and experience the art that is in Hamad International Airport. The other thing that you can pass time with is, you can visit the restaurants. Hamad International Airport has lots of restaurants. It has the fine dining restaurants, and it was so nice to see some of the restaurants and actually dine in some of the restaurants. And you can actually, they'll take you, most of the fine dining areas, they'll take your bags, they will actually sit you down, you'll get somebody waiting on you, and the menu is quite varied as well, quite, sumptuous, quite delicious as well, and not as costly as I anticipated. There are a couple of them, and one of them was the Gordon Ramsay. So it does have the burger place and the pizza place, and it's just next to the orchard. So it's an area that I found, really easy to reach. And the food was quite good. The atmosphere, the ambience was really good. And the food as well was really good. And I didn't mind the cost because obviously, you fine dining actually. There are a few other sort of Italian places and few other places that you can dine in. There are a few sort of, middle, range pricing places like the Red Restaurant, which did have quite good food as well, and a few other places that you can dine in. Apart from the dining areas, there are several cafes. If you're a lover of coffee, there are various coffee places that you can sit down and have coffee. You can have places where there are sweets. My favorite was the Venchi place that does have chocolates, has sweets, has ice cream, and it was very beautiful, very beautiful. The lighting was so good. the service from the lady was so good, and you could buy things that you can, take away as gifts for your loved ones. And to access most of these cafes and most of these places, all you need is your boarding pass. And with that, you should be able, to access and buy what you need. So Venchi for me was really a good place. I can't recommend it highly enough. The other place was the Oreo Cafe. If your kids love Oreo and you just want to buy them that huge Oreo or something like that, that's another nice place that you can visit. There's the Snowflakes place, which, again, it's a place that you can buy a couple of sweets. And all that is just spread through most of the, like Venchi is just next to the orchard as well. So not too far away. You're not walking too far away from, the orchard. So it will be a nice place to visit and, just enjoy a bite and something to take away. The other thing, obviously, is shopping. There are multiple shops, lots of designer shops, lots of, and all that is duty free. Lots of places that you can buy a few souvenirs, perfumes, Louis Vuitton, and so many places that you can actually just, walk in with a boarding pass and you can buy what you need, and it's definitely duty free. So, if you have quite a long time to to stay in the airport, that's another nice way of walking around and even if it's window shopping and seeing what there is to offer, definitely would be a nice way to pass time. The other thing about if you have a long layover is there are a couple of lounges in at the airport, and those lounges can be accessed by paying an additional cost. And I find them quite good, especially if you have kids and you just want to have a little bit of a rest and you want to freshen up and eat something. Most of the lounges there, you may find that a lot of like the Onyx lounge, the Al Majan, and depending on the level, Al Safwa or something like that. So essentially, some of them are quite, high end, first class, and stuff like that. But then something like Onyx Lounge, you can actually access it, pay a small additional fee that will allow you to eat and freshen up, rest in for about 6 hours before your next flight. So a nice thing to look into. Remember, the easiest way to do it is to book it before time. Don't wait to arrive and then book it. The other thing that I found helpful that I did use was the transit accommodation. So you are entitled to transit accommodation if I think your layover is more than 6 to 8 hours. And depending on how much you've paid, you just need to go onto the Qatar website or app, and then just, down there under manage, get in there and ask for, transit accommodation. You need to apply for it, and they'll either tell you whether it's complimentary fully or whether you need to pay a small amount to care for that. And if you pay a small amount like we did, is we were given a room to relax, shower, change, sleep, and then they gave you a a food voucher that you could, access some meals on that as well. So it's a nice place if you're traveling, you're tired, excessively long layover, like 36 hours, you can rest in, and you're not able to get out of, the airport for reasons like visa and stuff like that. A nice way to just, relax, freshen up, get a good amount of, rest and sleep, and then you're good to go for the next leg of your travel. And obviously, the other thing that you can do with a long layover is, depending on the visa or the passport that you have, or if you applied for a prior visa, you can definitely access the city. You can get out of the airport, and they are actually guided tours that you can pay for to show you around, to show you around Qatar, and they are guided. So it's on a bus, they will guide, they will show you around, and essentially, experience a little bit about, the Doha sort of culture and the land and the scenery, and with that you can get out and enjoy yourself. Just a disclaimer. There are some countries that you can actually get a sort of a visa on arrival or fill certain forms on arrival. But if you're not amongst the selected few countries, you definitely need to apply for a visa prior. So look into that. Do not anticipate a visa on arrival, yet you're not amongst, the passport holders of specific countries like Australia, the UK, Ireland, and stuff like that. So essentially, look on the website, do your due diligence, and make sure that if you really want to get out and enjoy outside Doha, outside the airport, you definitely need to get yourself a visa prior to arrival. So this was my experience. There is quite a few other lots of things that you can do without that are free. And I cannot forget to mention that, the internet, you can log on onto the airport's internet. You all need your booking reference and your surname. You can log in onto the internet. Obviously, it's a public internet, so you need to be wary of, important sites that you visit, like banking sites and stuff like that. And then you can access actually some restrooms, like washrooms, obviously, but there are also resting areas that are actually free. You can position yourself in a nice spot and get a good, rest as well. And there are other things like, prayer rooms and things like that that you can access that are essentially free of charge. So this was my experience. If you've had a long layover before in Qatar and you want to comment, please do comment there or on the comment section. Let us know your experience. And if this has been helpful, comment as well, like, share, and consider subscribing for more content. Thank you so much for keeping it here, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.